its purpose be? How would your jetpack make the world a better place?
Can't it just be fun?
Do the movie quotes have to have a reason? They can just be fun. We're ready for the other half of our report. We've done the coding, and notice we used these commands. We didn't even use a whole lot of them. These are commands we'll use over and over and over. So if you're feeling uncertain about your R abilities, we're going to use these over and over until you're going to feel comfortable with them. We've done the code. Now let's go ahead and make a report that a client could use. I'm going to use the code and output that I have before. That's on the website as well, so if you want that, you can have it yourself. What do I need? Well, let's start with the title. And I don't want to just give the title the name of the data set like kids age. I want a one sentence, what is this all about? For the introduction, I need it to look like my report matters. I'm going to hype it up to make it sound really critical. Keep in mind, this isn't about predicting height or making a regression statement. It's about helping doctors know if a kid's grown the right amount, or helping parents know if their child's normal. I don't know, something that makes it sound like this is important. I'm going to mention I'm using the program RStudio. Usually I talk about errors that were fixed, but this data set didn't have any. I'm going to mention I did regression, my alpha level, and then I talk about how my residuals told me that I had a good model. Some people like to include their residuals, and that's fine, that's great, that's personal style. I'm trying to keep this short so that this video doesn't become a 10-minute video. Since height is what we're interested in, I'm going to make a mention of common height values. And over here I have my histogram, and I can copy that to the clipboard and put it into my Word document. I think a client would like to see that. Here's the kinds of heights that are normal or expected. There's also a comment on what kinds of heights there are. I could talk about how it's normally distributed. I could talk about the mean. Lots of options here. I'm just picking one that is terse so that we keep this report short. Next, I want my prediction equation, which I already had. And I'm also going to make a mention that p-value proves this slope is meaningful. I'm going to interpret what that slope means, how much a kid gains per year. And I also have a confidence interval right here, so I can grab these numbers, and it changes my font. Darn it, I'm going to go paste special so that it doesn't change my font. There's lots of different ways to write that. Now that I read my own sentence, I'm not sure that that's the best wording. But I'm also hoping students don't just copy-paste my report for their own reports. I realized I don't actually know that it's in inches. I've made an assumption. I think in the homeworks it tries to be pretty clear on what the values are. I think I'm going to keep assuming that it's inches. That's what makes sense here. I worked hard to put that regression line on my picture, so I'm for sure going to grab that, copy it, and put it into my report. It's kind of large. I don't know if I like the margins. We'll worry about that in a minute. Now for a conclusion, I want a summary that just backs up some of the main points of my report, and I want to make it sound important. Let's format this a little bit. I think I'm hoping for a nice tight report that all fits on one page so that you can have an idea of the kinds of things that you might want to say to a client. But this is really important. Giving you a report, and the link for it should be there on my website, does not mean that I'm hoping you just copy this and replace the numbers with your numbers. That's offensive. I recognize my own handwriting. Write your own report. Tell the client what they need to know. Help them understand what your data shows. Don't just copy and paste my wording. Make it your own. Make it your own style. Some people like to be funny. Some people like to be quick. Some people really like to put lots of words into it. Great. Whatever works for you. Do your own thing. But here you can see that doing regression, especially in R, it's not too bad. You follow the system. You follow the commands that we've learned. And when you're done, you're proud to have something that you can give the client.